Gradually, drink and lively conversation and some interesting news from the States relieved Donald's depression. The Bellairs were friendly and inquisitive about his book, about which Winifred had evidently told them. Bellair wore the same air of nonchalant and melancholy resignation as always. His handsome consort, fashionably gowned, brilliant and satiric, had a stimulating effect upon Winifred. In the background sat Bennet Stokes, at a table with some officers from the ship. His face was red, and his hand shook as he lifted his glass. He returned Donald's look with a glassy stare. In the succeeding 2 hours, most of the acquaintances Winifred and Donald had made in Tahiti, as well as the new ones of the day, drank and chatted and laughed with them. At length Winifred dragged Donald and her mother out of the cafe. "Don, you were a darling," she said as they found their car. "Evidently writing improves your disposition. But, my dear, you can't hold your liquor. We'd better go home." "Winifred, I'm not drunk," protested Donald. "You will be pretty soon. Let's go." Winifred insisted on driving, which was just as well, Donald thought. As they drove out of town, the sun was sinking behind the long western slant of Moorea, and a gorgeous panorama of mauve and saffron and salmon clouds lay banked in broken trade-wind procession along the horizon, silhouetted against the sky. A black sail crossed the golden vase-shaped sun as it slid behind the horizon. As they disembarked from the car, Donald noticed that the back of Winifred's white silk blouse was wet with perspiration, and his garments, scant as they were also damp. One result of Papeete on a windless, sultry day when drinks had been numerous. Don put on his bathing trunks and made for the lagoon. The exquisite sensation of cool water on his flesh after that blistering day was impossible to appreciate sufficiently. He had called Winifred to come, but she preferred a shower and reading her mail on her bed. Nor would she come outdoors with him later, though there was a moon rounding toward the full. Donald went to bed, weary in body and vaguely troubled in mind. Next morning, before sunrise, he was out trying to recapture his joy in the dawn. He watched the vast concourse of rose-pearl clouds majestically looming between him and the rising sun, breathed the ineffable fragrance of the early morning, and listened to the patter of the palms and the song of the sea. But his unease continued unabated. Winifred did not get up until noon. She appeared the same languid and glamorous creature, yet not the same. Did the subtle, indefinable difference exist only in his mind? Now that Donald had finished his work, he was free to pursue the play on shore and lagoon. But that afternoon Winifred made excuses that were as transparent as crystal water. When she informed him she was going into Papeete, he spoke sharp words that precipitated a quarrel. "Darling, why don't you go see Faaone today?" Her tone was sarcastic. "You were seen talking with her yesterday. Quite a tableau the two of you made, oblivious to the gossipy world of Papeete. Why don't you keep your date with her?" "I didn't make one." "But she wanted you to?" "Yes." "Evidently you have made a conquest of Tahiti's most famous and beautiful whore." "If I have, I'm not aware of it," he said, his face reddening with anger. "Don, go play with Faaone. Perhaps you'll understand Tahiti better. I'll be seeing you later." And she drove away with her mother, leaving Donald standing in the driveway, aghast and furious. His first thought was that he would go to see Faaone, but he decided against that, sensing disastrous consequences for himself if he did. Her appeal was too tremendous to risk. Besides, he wanted to cherish the memory of Faaone, not as Tahiti knew her, but in her beauty and her physical perfection, as the embodiment of his dream. Nevertheless, all afternoon he had to fight the almost irresistible desire to go to her. More than anything, he wanted to see her out on the reef. The Reef Girl. Somewhere he had heard that she was like a golden angelfish in the surf, that unlike most native women, she swam nude in the white breakers. How bitterly Winifred had bitten out that speech. And scorn! Why had she betrayed scorn in her mocking permission?